Persona 3 Reload missed out on a Switch 1 release at launch and later on would release on Switch 2, which is why it wasn't featured in the Persona 3 port review. I'm really late to cover it now, but the Persona 3 port review is still getting plenty of views these days, plus this version needed time to receive an update, which it did get eventually, so it wouldn't hurt to just cover this version properly today in a quick video. And again, this video focuses on the Switch 2 version of Reload. Any other info about Persona 3 in general could be more discussed over in the main port review. When this version was released, the game made visual compromises on Switch 2 just to struggle with frame pacing at 30 FPS around Tartarus and in busy locations. Let's look at how the game runs now though. Following an update, Persona 3 Reload on Switch 2 has a quality mode and a performance mode when docked. We'll talk about undocked in a minute. Quality is visually identical to how the game looked before the patch and is a consistent lock 30. Performance mode lets the game run up to 60 FPS at the cost of being a slightly lower resolution with lower quality ambient occlusion, it looks like, though it'll drop a bit in the harshest areas like here in the school. Now the test you're seeing is back from when the patch released, but as I've been playing through the game, I thought this is smoother than what I showed in that quick test I did show on stream, so I tested it again and did find the game is more stable in the school than what I showed. What's going on is that the test was after the first day of school where there's many more NPCs in the halls than usual, so I did this test again at different times and found the average day of school isn't nearly that bad. I've also been playing the game past the demo to get back into the next layer of Tartarus for more testing, and the game is still maintaining 60 pretty well, which I'm happy to see. Now undocked, the game has no performance mode and looks fine but is kept at 30 FPS. In that first day after school stress test, I couldn't tell if it was dropping frames because of the Switch 2's ghosting, but looking back at the recording, considering this is as bad as it can physically get, this is fine. If you were looking for a 60 FPS handheld experience, you'll be looking at the PC version options, which we might as well look at just at the Steam Deck here, where it handles this stress test fine with low shadows of 75% render resolution, but given that this is an outlier stress test anyway, you'll probably be fine with higher settings for a majority of the game. So overall, it handles it pretty damn well. Some menu animations are still frustratingly lower than 60 no matter which version you play, even if you are playing uncapped on PC, so this is just a universal caveat with Reload in general. Another minor thing I didn't catch about Reload that Mikhail over at RPG Site noticed, the dead zones on the analog controls. Input lag isn't really an issue in Reload, but there's delay to turning the camera due to the dead zone of the analog stick, causing it to possibly feel unresponsive. This isn't exclusive to the Switch 2 either, so again, it's not a deal breaker and it's probably not a big deal to most since I didn't really see anyone bring this up before. A more meaningful addendum than these caveats is that Reload received the PS2 versions of Mass Destruction plus Burn My Dread in a free update a while ago for battles and for some other music for dungeon crawling as well. Otherwise, I don't think the visual compromise would personally deter me if this was my main version of Reload for how nicely the game maintained 60 since that update. Persona 3 Reload also has an updated demo on Switch 2 as well that's more than long enough to evaluate if you're okay with the visual compromise and see how you feel about it. And that'll be it for this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned in for more videos in the future, and thank you all for watching, and thank you again for all of the continued support.